day 7 of the quote series. Now, for today's quote, it's a good one. Today's quote is, "The reward is for those who stayed focused when no one was watching." Now, this is context for two. It's two contexts. First one, it's a sad context. I went to the gym last night. It's like 15-minute walk. I walked. And when I walked, the gym was closed. I was like, dang, I gotta get some work in no matter what. I started jogging back home. I rolled my ankle. My ankle hurts right now. But it's just a prime example of like, bro, no one knew that I was in that position. But I still chose to jog anyways. And I did jog for a good relative time. And then my ankle just started giving out on me. But it's just the fact that I was like in that position. And I was like, damn it, no one's there. Might as well get some extra work. You know what I'm saying? Just because you don't have a crowd cheering you on and surrounding you, you got to be your own crowd. You got to be your own coach. Second context. It's more than just a self perspective. It's more of an outsider's perspective. For those who focused on you, it don't just mean you focusing on yourself, you will be rewarded. It means those around you, those in your inner circle who know what you've been doing, who tracking your lifestyle like meal prep. You know what I'm saying? Those are the people who, in the end of the day, when you start getting the glitz and glamours, those people get the reward. You feed back into them. Because one of the main things in my life was football. And towards the end of my career, before I got injured, I was like, it was more of a thing where it wasn't that the game was like, oh, this is the best game ever. I kill for this, die for this. No, it was the game kind of changed. It changed the trajectory of my life. It started locking me in. And it was like, if it could do this much for me, might as well give all that same energy back as much as I can. You know what I'm saying? Because I owe it to the game. So it's the same thing for the people around you. If they're going to feed into you, then you can't just let them give, and you just not give nothing back. Now, there's a difference between giving and then you're in a situation where they're, how can I put this? It's like when you give a bank a lot, or when you put your money in a stock. Just because you give your money to a bank in like a savings account, and it's like interest, it's a compound interest, everything. You give your money to a bank. The bank's job is to make that money have interest and compound because they're using it, and they shouldn't feel self-obligated to a reward or feeling gratitude for them playing with your money and then being in a situation where they're gonna give you some interest. No, you don't owe them anything. You gave them the money. It's their job to give the interest. Some people feel like because you've put them in a certain situation, or they've put you in a certain situation, that you owe them, and they might be giving it to you. They might be giving you something. They might be, you know what I'm saying. There might be a teacher who's. If you want to be an engineer, you might have a math teacher and he's teaching you math. But if that guy is doing his job, and he feels obligated because you're good at math, because he's doing his job, not necessarily he's a good teacher, you just are good at learning, that's like, you don't owe that individual anything. You know what I'm saying? Or if you were on a sports team and there was a coach that you hated, but you're sitting there every day going to all the practices, doing this, doing that, and then somehow you make it. You know what I'm saying? You become great at your sport, and then they want to be like, oh, I did that. No. You know what I'm saying? You might have put them on a regimen, but and if anything, you hinder them. You instilled a sense of discomfort. You know what I'm saying? Disconfidence. So when he starts establishing it for his own or for her own, then they don't have the right to feel obligated to your reward, okay? Because they weren't focused on you. That's the emphasis on focus. When someone gives you your time, their attention, that's way more important than their money and their finances or the little they have. Because I remember, I don't know if there was another quote that I did earlier. It was 40% of 40% is 100%, but 40% of 100% is only 40%. If someone has 40% and they give you all, that's way better than someone who has everything in the world. And they might give you some, and it might feel like a lot, but to them, it was just a little crumb. And you should take that crumb into offense. You should be like, damn, I'm only worth a crumb to you? Well, guess what? I'm gonna make it big. And when you realize how much I could use a crumb and be resourceful, and then I grow, then damn, you're gonna want this crumb back. You know what I'm saying? So that's why that's today's quote. Yes, day 7. Remember to comment your quote of the day, your context,